What is up, guys? It is Limited Llama back with my second video of the day. That is a rare thing to say. So today I'm going to be walking through some more advanced tips for using Sorare. And actually the way I'm going to be doing this is using another website, which is called FantasyPros.com. So if you're into fantasy sports at all, whether that's MLB, NFL, NBA, Fantasy Pros is a pretty common tool, essentially, that allows you to see which players are really good, which players aren't so good. And the way it does that is by loading your league settings into Fantasy Pro. So it allows you to adjust the recommendations based on the scores that your league uses. So if you're in an MLB league, if you have a league that focuses really heavily on home runs, then Fantasy Pros will recommend picking up Aaron Judge, things like that. But the one thing that's interesting about Fantasy Pros is that you don't actually have to link it to a fantasy league. So the first thing you're going to want to do in order to start using Fantasy Pros is go over to FantasyPros.com and then create an account. And you're going to need the Hall of Fame version, and you can get 6 months of that for free by using this promotion. You'll see it when you log onto the website. Basically, you just deposit money at a daily fantasy website, and then it'll give you 6 months free. And then you can check out all the tools. You can use it for your fantasy if you have any fantasy leagues, but you can also use it for Sorare. And that's what's so special about it, is we can actually load the Sorare score settings into an MLB league, and then Fantasy Pros will give us predictions about which players are going to do the best for the rest of the season. And that's really powerful because it allows the website to do all of the calculations that we don't have to do, and it uses, all of the analytics of the website as opposed to us doing it in some giant spreadsheet. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of walk through how you get this set up so that you can view all of the players, things like that. And then in the next video, I'll go through using the setup league and how you can use that to find really good Sorare players that maybe are cheaper than some of the more expensive players. And then I'll also kind of walk through how you can potentially use it to find the best lineup of players given the players that you own. So the first thing that we're going to do when you log over onto Fantasy Pros is we're going to click into MLB here, and you're going to go over to My Playbook. At least this is where I start it from. So right in here, you can see up in the top left, these are all of your leagues, all of your teams. And down here at the bottom, you can click this New League Sync button. And this is what we're going to do. So you click New League Sync. We're already under MLB. And then you're going to click Other, Manual Import. So you click Other, Manual Import. Has your league already drafted? Just click Yes. And then we're going to click Other Plain Text. So what we're saying right now is we're importing a fantasy baseball league, and instead of using Yahoo or ESPN or whatever, we're just going to put all of our players in by plain text. And at this point, if you want, you can put your team name, say Limited Llama Team, right? That you put your team name first, and then you're going to list out every single player that you own in Sorare. And then you do a comma and then their team name. So, for example, you could do like Ahmed Rosario Cleveland, right? I'm not going to do this right now. You're going to have to do this if you want Fantasy Pros to figure out the best lineup for your players, but you don't have to do this if you just want Fantasy Pros to find really good players for your team. So I'm going to skip this right now because it's kind of a lot of work to put all the players in, but this is the format. You do your team name at the top, and then on a new line, you do your player, comma, the 3-letter abbreviation of the team. And then you click Import. You can see, enter your league name. We'll call this Sorare League. Your team is whatever you named it. And then you have your players. And you're going to want to make sure if you do import your players, go through and make sure that they all show up. I had some that were misspelled or something like that, and they didn't show up. So make sure you go through and ensure that all of the players are there. And then once you do that, you click Next. And then here's where a lot of the magic happens. So right here, we're setting up the settings for our league. Now, the nice thing is that we actually know how Sorare scores. So if we go over to sorare.com, we can go over to, not help, it's under how to play. You click how to play, you click the basics over here, and then you click scoring system. So here we can essentially translate all of the scores that you get in Sorare over to this fantasy league in FantasyPros. So I'm going to kind of do a side-by-side view here, so we can have both of them up. So we're going to have one here, the other one right here. Then we're going to go over to FantasyPros, and then what we're going to do is we're going to set the player pool, mixed leagues, set the scoring to roto, and then set the scoring to points-based. Lineups, you can leave that as daily lineup changes. And then under hitting categories, we're going to go through for each of the hitting categories here and click that button down here. So I start off by unchecking them just to make sure we have the exact ones checked. So start off with run, RBI, single, double, triple, home run, where's that at? Right there, home run, walk, right here, strikeout, right there, SO, different abbreviation, stolen base, right here, and then they don't have hit by pitch, which I guess is one of the minor flaws, but I really don't think it's that big of a deal unless you have a player who's getting hit by pitches a bunch. And now under hitting points, we just put how many points it is worth on Sorare. So a run is worth 3 points, an RBI is worth 3 points, single is worth 2 points, a double is worth 5 points, triple is worth 8 points, a home run is worth 10 points, a walk is worth 2 points, a strikeout is worth -1 point, and then a stolen base is worth 5 points. So now we've got all of the hitting categories in, and we just do the same thing with the pitching categories. So I go through, unselect them all, and then we want innings pitched, we want strikeouts, hits allowed. Let's see, where's that at? Hits. Oh, right there. Hits allowed, earned run. You don't want earned run to average. You want the amount of runs that are being earned. Walks. Let's see. Walks. Hit batsman. It also doesn't have hit batsman for the pitching categories. Win. Which is right there, save, and then also hold, which is HD instead of HLD. Okay, and now we go through. A win is worth 5 points, a save is worth 10 points, a strikeout is worth 2, innings pitched is worth 3, a hit is worth -0.5, a walk is worth -1, a hold is worth 5, and an earned run is worth -2 points. So now we've copied all of our settings over to FantasyPros. You can now, if you want FantasyPros to make your lineup the best, you're going to have to go in here and set all of these to 0. You want the rosters in here to reflect a Sorare roster. So a corner infielder, right? You get one of those in Sorare. You get one middle infielder. Then you get one outfielder, 0, 0, 0, and then you get essentially one utility player, which is like the flex player that's batting only. You get one of those, and then you get one starting pitcher, one relief pitcher, and then you can think of it like you get one extra person. So I go ahead and add an extra pitcher and an extra utility player, so like 2 of each, and then when you go ahead and find the best lineup, you'll have to compare whether or not the extra pitcher is worth it compared to the extra batter. But I'll go through that in a future video. So these are the settings you're going to want, and then just pump your bench up all the way just so that you can have as many players as you want on your team. And then none of this matters. You can just click all of that, and then I think it auto saves. So let's see, view and okay. So now we go back. Let me refresh. So I think, yeah. So auto saves, and then you have your team right here. Sorare League limited llama team. So that's my team, and then you're going to go now basically it's all set up. So the tools that are really powerful, you can, if you have your players imported, you can go over to lineup assistant, and then this will give you your best lineup. The issue with FantasyPros is that it's based on normal fantasy baseball, which means the weeks are a full week. You can't adjust the weeks to be 3 days versus 4 days, which is kind of a big downfall, because it's not going to let you, it won't tell you your best hitting lineup based on like the 3-day week, but you can kind of guesstimate what the best one is based on the entire week, and then you can also look at like today and tomorrow and see which players are the best value. But the thing that I find really powerful on this website that I'm going to go through in a future video is you can go over to trade, and then you can click top taken, or sorry, you can click top available under waiver. So these are all the players that you don't own basically, and you can see how much they're worth. So this is how many fantasy points they're expected to get for the rest of the season. So Shohei Ohtani is expected to accumulate 561 so rare points for the rest of the season. So that's in every single competition cumulative. He's expected to get 561. Then you have Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Paul Goldschmidt, Trey Turner. So you can see, I mean, some of these players you would expect to be on this list, right? Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. But then there's some players that you maybe wouldn't expect to be this high, like Paul Goldschmidt, maybe Mookie Betts. So this list is really, it's helpful, but it's also surprising. And it also lets you kind of scroll through it and find good players that are really valuable and that don't cost as much on So Rare. And that's what I'll be covering in my next video. I'll be kind of walking through how to use this tool to find good players and then compare their value on So Rare. And then I'll also I'll be using another website, a third website in that video that I'll also be excited to share with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. I'll have a link in the description, both for So Rare. If you haven't signed up, you can sign up using my affiliate link. I think you get like a free card after you buy 5 cards. And then I'll also have a link to FantasyPros where you can sign up if you so desire. So thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. I'll catch you guys on the next one.